Hi, Mike Stott here, your current 2024 Cherokee Association of Realtors president. And what a month we've had here in Georgia with the hurricane and all the damage that it caused, and the school shooting and the tragedy that was, and the chemical explosion. It was just horrible. And I know that realtors are vital members of the community, and I want you to know that the staff and the board of directors has been praying and working hard to support those communities that need our help, and I know you all are too. If you would like to donate to the Georgia Association of Realtors Disaster Relief Fund, this will help our brothers and sisters, our realtors, throughout the state that need financial help to get back on their feet and to start resuming their lives. It's just been a tough month, man, in terms of what's been going on. And a special shout out to Mike Pennington, who I know drove down to South Georgia with a truck full of food and supplies and is there helping people rebuild their lives in the town he grew up in. That's what being a real estate agent is all about. So what's been going on in Cherokee County in the month of September? The median sales price dipped a little. You can see that historically that's not unusual to have us dip. About half the times our prices go down starting in September. But we had 136 homes active over a million, 15 closed over a million, and the median price is now 487. For the year so far, the median price is 485, so we've gone up about 6% from last year. Important statistic: people aren't getting rich quick any longer. We're no longer seeing the double-digit appreciation, and I think for the next few years we're going to see low to moderate single-digit appreciation. Number of sales, this affects us in our pocketbooks because we had 321 sales last year. For those of us that remember, in 2020 we had 580 sales. We're down about 45% in terms of the numbers from the peak of 2020. And we're actually up a little from last month, and for the year we're up 5 sales per month, so it's been relatively steady as to what the number of sales have been. Really sort of interesting that we have 1,003 active homes, 876 detached single family houses, 127 attached homes. If you notice here, the median asking price is $575. Median under contract is $470 and $525. So I expect our median price to remain relatively constant, maybe go back up a little, right around $500,000 as these properties close. If we look at what's closed in the last, I think I set this for 60 days. The median, or no, this is, just September, was 487 in September. We have about a little over a 3-month supply. We're bordering on a normal market. Many economists say 4 to 6 months supply of homes is a normal market. But if you subtracted the 136 over a million that are there, if you took those out and you pulled this number down to 850, we're still well in. The buyers need to scramble to get a house. 127 attached homes, 184,900 was the lowest price. The median was 450. Under the median price last month, we have 326 active properties in all of Cherokee County, and if that holds true, most of those will sell this month. And under 300,000, we had 22 homes for sale. If you pull it up, a couple of people have snuck vacant lots under the single family. I don't know why. One was a modular home, 3 are on leasehold land around Lake Allatoona, 11 are self-acknowledged fixer-uppers, either in the remarks or the fixer-upper section, and 5 are attached homes, 2 are move-in ready. There's just really not much out there below 300,000. Now, we had a number of homes between 300 and 325,000. That may be our new affordable. For those of us that are visual, we can see the prices have gone up. 6% on a 455,000 is quite a nice number in terms of increase in property values. It's, visually, we've gone nothing but up since 2012. For those of you that are active in the rental market, we've had 77 homes active, and 153 over the last 6 months closed. 63 active attached homes with 84 closed over the last 6 months, and the median price, as you can see, 2,400 is median rental price. Once it gets under contract, 2,233 for the apartments, that sort of thing. Now, these are only numbers that are entered in the FMLS, and most of the apartments that are being built or are out there do not put this in. But I think for the single family houses, it's a pretty good number for us to look at. I'm a big guy. I grew up in a family that arguing or debating was considered a contact sport, and I used to get my way by yelling and screaming, and I can promise you that cost me at least $100,000 every couple of years in lost sales when I dealt with a client that was upset for some reason or another real estate agent that was upset for another reason or the other. And so I constantly remind myself of this $100,000 practice. I am sure that over the course of 4 to 5 years, I cost myself in the past 2 to 3 deals a year. And at our average, commission price every 2 to 3 years, if I had continued that, I would be costing myself $100,000. By the way, this also works with teens and with spouses, as long as they're not, as long as people aren't being hysterical or irrational. So when somebody is upset with you and they're coming at you and you just feel attacked, breathe. Don't get defensive. My first reaction is to get defensive, to fight back, or to deflect and say, oh, it's not really that big of a problem or anything like that. And then I want you to practice, after breathing, listen to what they're saying and ask them at an appropriate time, tell me more about that. And then once they're through with it all, calmly ask them, what would you have me do? And I think you'll be amazed at the number of times when somebody says, I don't think you can do anything, or you've done everything you already can do, or I have my own solution, and they're calm. What they really wanted is somebody to listen to them and to vent some steam or to get off. So, real life case. I had a seller, he bought a property from me in Hawaii, and it was a waterfront property. It was in Kaneohe Bay, and in Kaneohe Bay, on the windward side of Oahu, there were seawalls or walls on the waterfront that were built prior to statehood. And since statehood, they were built without any permits in many cases, without any oversight or anything else. And in order to modify that seawall, you now had to get city and state approval because it was affecting the ocean, and it was quite a costly process. Well, when the guy bought the property, it was fully disclosed. We had it out there, 100%. Hey, he understood that this seawall was built pre-statehood, and that, if you ever needed to modify it or repair it, it was going to have to be brought up to code at that time. Well, I'm sitting in my office one day, and he comes in, and he's yelling at my receptionist, a nice young man, and he was yelling, where the bleep is Mike Stott? I want to bleep and bleep, 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 bleep. So, being astute, I knew he was upset. I go out and I said, hey, let's call him Mr. Jones. Mr. Jones, come into my office, sit down, and tell me what's wrong. And he says, well, I've got, my wife has cancer. We're having to move back to the mainland to go to the Mayo Clinic. And I've got a bill for $15,000 on this property. And it's total BS and this. And I said, hey, that's horrible. I acknowledge it. Let me get your folder. I'll be right back. I get back the folder, and as I'm walking back, I turn it to the page where it shows that it was disclosed. I put it on the table, and I don't say anything. And I said, at my company, I want you to be happy. What would make you completely happy in this situation? He says, I want you to write me a check for bleep and bleep bleep $15,000. And I said at that point, I hear you. Tell me more about it. And we talked for a few minutes. And I said, $15,000 for something you knew about, what would make you happy? He said, well, if you chip in a third of it. And at the time, I had errors and omission insurance where the deductible is, $5,000. This guy had bought several houses from me, including this big one, and I knew he was probably going to be listing it. So I wrote him a check, and he said, great. And then 2 months later, we listed the property for like $1.2 million. He bought a $600,000 townhouse to keep a presence in Hawaii, and it turned out very well. So when I say this practice is a $100,000 practice, it has been. And there's nobody worse at doing this than me, so I know you can do it too. So I'm also very excited about our October 23rd general membership meeting. We have a brilliant woman, Margie Stagmeyer. She wrote a book called Blighted. She did some wonderful work in inner city Atlanta with rehabbing some 176 unit townhouses and creating a community that affected the whole area. The school scores went up, the people are happier, the drug dealers got out of town. It's an amazing story. And she's coming to speak along with Commissioner Bob Ott, and we're going to have a lot of fun at the general membership meeting. I'd love to have you sign up. You can sign up at tinyurl.com, CAOR Blighted. It's 12 to 2 on October 23rd. It's $10. We donate that money to a charity, and this will be Margie's charity this month, and lunch will be provided. So we hope to see you there. I'm real excited about this one. And I just want to remind you, hey, we have the opportunity to help our realtor brothers and sisters through the Georgia Disaster Relief Fund, and get out there and help your community. Let's all come together and do something good for our communities. Thanks.